Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Show Me Show podcast for episode 75. 75. And today we are going to run through some of the week 3 games from the NFL slate. No rundown this week. Me and Luke both got kind of bogged down this week, but we'll be running through some week 3 games, giving our picks. It's Luke's week for picks for NFL Pick'em. And we'll also talk a little college football as well as some other random stuff in our fantasy corner. So it shouldn't be too long of an episode, but we're just going to go ahead and get right into week 3. We had a pretty good week in terms of picks. Went 11-5. So I think we were 6-10. 9-7, and now 11-5, which is about what we always were last year too. Is about 11-5. So that's what we're going to try and continue to strive for, which moves our record to 26-22. And Luke, this was definitely the craziest week of the NFL season thus far. Plenty of upsets, weird blowouts as well, like historical blowouts, and and some other just some crazy games that took place. Where should we even start?
I think we should start with saying that there's no rundown this week because we got busy.
I said that. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't worry about that.
Cut out for like 10 seconds, so I probably missed it.
Okay. Yeah.
We got lazy. There's always 1 to 2, maybe even 3 weeks a year where we just get busy and we don't have time because it takes a long time to write that down.
Yeah, it does.
Like hours. So, yeah, a little hiatus from it this week.
New Orleans at Green Bay. I got something to say real quick about New Orleans at Green Bay game. Obviously, this is a big game. Oh, fuck. Where did it go? Okay. This was a big game for me because Jameis finally got in. But I have something to say to you, Luke, and Wyatt, the other big Packers fan that we know. I'm getting tired of your guys' shit of not believing. I'm getting tired of it. It's starting to really piss me off. As soon as something doesn't go right, you guys just go the other way, and it makes me pissed off. You guys have been spoiled to the bone, and yes, you guys have struggled in the playoffs, but spoiled rotten. And as soon as something goes just a little bit south, which happens in the NFL all the time, by the way, as soon as something goes a little bit south, you guys just turn into sour grapes. It's starting to piss me off because I feel like 1 second love is in the air, and the next second you want them dead. So whoa. Put that out there. So I'm just saying that it's getting to me. I don't like it. You're either in or you're out on Zip. I want you to be in. There's going to be highs and lows.
What I'm going to say on that is the fourth quarter was excellent. The fourth quarter was fantastic to watch. Matt LaFleur knows ball, by the way, going for 2 when you score a touchdown after being down by 14. Incredibly big brain move. I was trying to explain it to my dad why that is the right thing to do. And he's like, you're at home. You play for overtime at home. I'm like, that doesn't matter. It's a coin flip, right? You're trying to win the game, and this is the best way to win the game. Incredibly high ball knowledge. I'm glad to see that he's improving in that aspect from a few years ago. But the first 3 quarters were abysmal. Like, when I'm talking, it was tough to watch. We couldn't do anything. The Saints defense was just all over us. It was 3 and out after 3 and out. We couldn't move the ball downfield. No one was open at all. And that's no fault of Jordan Love's. That's a shout out to the Saints secondary. It is legit. It was locked down. And then we also had a ton of injuries, which probably contributed to it. So the fact that we came back and won that game, Jordan Love, fantastic performance. They play tonight, Detroit, and I've made an obligation that if I'm impressed with him tonight after this game, I'm officially putting in the order for the Jordan Love jersey. So, not the official one, obviously on DHgate, but I don't have that type of money to shell out for the official jersey, but I will be putting in the order if I'm impressed with them. and it's been a up and down 3 weeks. I'm just glad we beat the Saints, man. It was a good game overall, but this is the big test. This is one of the hardest games we're going to have all year against the Detroit Lions. What can he do? He's got two of his best offensive linemen out, David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins. But Christian Watson will play for the first time this year, and Aaron Jones is back. So let's see what that offense can do.
Yeah, I think obviously I just released some frustration on you. I think this is just something I've realized over the past couple of years, and I was jogging through some of them in my brain. I think you guys might be the grouchiest fan base out there. Yeah, because like all the other fan bases are just sad. Like there's some just really sad fan bases like Jets, Bears, teams like that. Raiders, yeah, exactly. Cardinals. The few Chargers fans are kind of just sad. The Packers are kind of remind me of the St. Louis Cardinals fan base too. It's just you have such high expectations because it's a well-run organization, and then when stuff doesn't go right, it's just grouchiness because you're better.
But I think another organization could be the Patriots. They're kind of going through their grouchy stage right now.
Yeah,
kind of getting fed up with Mac Jones because he's a dirty player. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm also just surrounded by you two as well that I pick it up a little bit more. But just something to point out. But yeah, it was a good game. It's just a fun comeback. There was lots of fun comebacks. Shout out Kim Kardashian. So yeah. We got to talk about this game just even for a second. Denver at Miami. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The memes were flying for this game because they won by 50. Dolphins won 70-20. Most points me or Luke have ever seen in our lifetime. Probably might ever see in our lifetime. And they had a chance to break the point record with the field goal, but they decided not to kick it because they believe in karma. That's what I read this week. So
shout out Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, Sean Payton, 0-3, and the team is worse than last year.
Yeah. And the thing is, Russell Wilson is not as bad as he was last year.
Yeah, the offense is a little better.
Yeah, he's not, Seattle Russell Wilson yet, but he's not dog shit Russell Wilson like he was last year. He's playing solid. He could be playing a little better, but the defense has regressed tremendously. I mean, not even, obviously, they give up 70 points, which in any football game, college, high school, is a ton of points, but it's just unheard of in the NFL to give up, over 50, but 70 points is, that's a huge number. That's 10 touchdowns. Shout out to that Miami Dolphins family that takes a shot of tequila every Dolphins touchdown. They said some of them almost died during that tradition this week. So shout out to that family. And what am I trying to say here? The defense is run by Sean Payton, right? He's the defensive-minded head coach. He comes in this year, and not only do they give up 70 to the Dolphins, they gave up 35 to the Commanders last week, and they gave up 17 to the Raiders, which you're like 17, but you have to keep in mind what we've seen from the Raiders the last few weeks, and it's nothing. So 17, 35, 70. This is bad. It's bad in Denver. And now you're playing the Bears, who have one of the worst offenses in football. So, this is the sicko game of the year, but this is really going to show how bad the Broncos are, or how bad they aren't,
Yeah, I saw that, how the Sickos football committee has like a sicko forecast for the college football slate. And this is the first time ever that I believe they're going to be including an NFL game on the Sickos forecast for this game, a Sickos warning, if you will. 0-3 Broncos versus 0-3 Bears this upcoming week. And
Both teams
I mean,
have.
something's got to give. Something's got to give.
Yeah, I think
I
I
really
saw
don't know.
it's movable object versus stoppable force. Who will win? It's
That's
one of
good.
those. One of
Yeah,
those
I mean,
scenarios.
it's so bad. And you were just listing off the amount of points that they've given up so far. 17 times 2 is 34. So 17 and a half would be 35. 35 times 2 is 70. So each game they've given up twice the amount of points that they gave up in the previous game. So maybe the Bears will drop 140. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible.
I don't know if the Bears will score 140 points in the season, but
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like a Brian Ferenz game. If you're the Bears, you're like, well, let's get some points this week because we may not be able to get some for the rest of the year.
I don't
The
even know
Broncos'
what.
defense is bad. I'll
I don't
say
even know
this: I
what
think the
happened.
Bears' defense is better than the Broncos, but I do think the Broncos' offense is better than the Bears. But it's not by like a considerable margin. I think I just talked myself into Bears. Is it in Chicago? Yeah, I think it's in Chicago. Not that that matters, but
Yeah. Is this a third straight week that Denver's on the road?
no, they were at home the first week. Oh wait, they were
Yeah.
at home. Yeah, but this is week 4
No, they were at home against the Commanders. Yeah. Never mind. I'm tripping.
against the who?
Washington?
Yes, Commanders. Yeah, I thought you said Panthers. Like,
Oh no. Other games, the Chargers Vikings. That was a kind of a loser leaves town type of game, and the Vikings now are 0-3. And funny enough, they also have an 0-3 matchup this week against the Panthers. So all 4 of the 0-3 teams are playing against each other. That's disgusting. But the Vikings, they're done. They're done. The Chargers saved their season with that win, hanging around at 1-2. But the Vikings are 0-3. If they lose to the Panthers this week, it's really over, and they really got to start thinking about maybe trading Kirk Cousins because the Jets are desperate for a quarterback. That could kind of be a nice transition here. Apparently, there's some wild stuff going on in the Jets locker room right now. The players, the defense is revolting against Robert Saleh for having Zach Wilson's back. They hate him. They hate Zach Wilson with a passion. And you can't win a football game this way. And they have the Chiefs this next upcoming week, but 15 straight losses to the Patriots. Belichick just owns the Jets. And it just continues. Zach Wilson is really bad. They can't make the playoffs with him. And if they need a few wins here, and then maybe they can trade for Kirk Cousins around week 7 or something. But I mean, it may be too late by then. I don't. You scratching. What are you doing over there, Cam?
I'm trying to find my. I don't even know what they're called. It's the little things you put in your mouth. It's candy.
Okay. Candy.
I don't know what they're called. I
Runts?
just had them. Mints. Star. What the fuck are they called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're in like a circular package.
Icebreakers?
Icebreakers.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah, I can't find them. They should be in my backpack.
Well, I just know she disappeared for like a minute.
Yeah. I was listening though. Don't worry, I was listening.
Okay. The Tennessee-Cleveland game, I guess Cleveland's good. Atlanta, Detroit. Detroit kind of took care of business against Atlanta.
Shittered.
Yeah. Washington, Buffalo. We both picked Washington, kind of hoping, but we got humbled. That's a humbling game for Washington. Their offensive line is really bad, and they play the best defensive
Possibly
line.
historically.
Yeah, what is it? 9 sacks that Sam Howell took in that game.
Yeah. They're on pace to give up 107, which would clear the all-time mark by, I want to say, 31.
Yeah, like 74 is like the record or
I
something.
think the all-time is 76 by the Texans or something, and David Carr. And they're on pace for 107. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good when they have to immediately go from that game to playing the Eagles, who maybe outside of the 49ers have the best front seven in the NFL. So it's just tough.
Yeah.
And obviously, not a whole lot of people were freaking out over the Sam Howell performance because, he's practically a rookie. And they just have these types of games. Rookies do. All of them do, even the great ones, the bad ones, they all do. So not too worried there, but like, holy moly, that offensive line and being mixed with Sam Howell being young and holding onto the ball too long sometimes is just a bad mix. So they got to figure that out. So Bieniemy was calling plays all day long that, like, if he was still coaching for the Chiefs, would work because the line can hold up Mahomes long enough. But those plays were taking so long to develop against the Bills that the poor guy would just be dead before, he could get the ball off. So,
Developmental game for Bieniemy too.
Yeah, true. He's got to adjust. So
he's the sole play caller now. Another game, Houston, Jacksonville. This is one we should have saw coming. Houston,
this is our fault.
They always go into Jacksonville and win. I don't know why we didn't see it coming. It is the first win in C.J. Stroud's career. He's actually been really, really good.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Which is, he doesn't have any receivers. He doesn't really have that good of an offensive line. He's kind of so it is really impressive to see him going out there. He may not be winning games, but he's going out there and he's performing. So that has to be very promising if you're the Texans. Indianapolis, Baltimore, this was kind of like a okay type of result. Like, you're looking at it like, all right, what does this mean? I don't know if it means anything, It
was a weird game. Weird Gardner Minshew game.
Yeah.
Overtime game. You just didn't. This is just a game where since I expect the Ravens to win the division, it's like this is just a game that you have to pick off if you're the Ravens. Like, you just need this one. It's like, in terms of the race, starting 3-0, and instead you drop it to a meddling Colts team who might have a good coach, though.
Yeah, they're 2-1. They're first place. They'd be in the playoffs. It was over right now.
Yeah, but so are the Steelers.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They're also 2-1. So, it just, you play who you play. The Ravens, they need to get going on offense. They really haven't had that outburst yet. And I don't know who they play this upcoming week. Ooh, Cleveland. Ooh. They got to get going because that Cleveland defense is good. And then Carolina, Seattle. Bryce Young was out in this game. It was an Andy Dalton game, and that means that Seattle took care of business. They're back on track. They're 2-1. Not much from that game, really.
Kenneth Walker, good game.
Mm-hmm.
Geno not writing back in this one. Explosive second half offense from the Seahawks. I'll say that. Also, Andy Dalton didn't play bad.
He never does.
He never really does. Yeah, I think he still threw for like 300 yards, so that's pretty good.
He's just boring. Yeah, shout out Adam Thielen putting up 35 points on my bench, contributing to my loss. So, Chicago at Kansas City. I know the Broncos gave up 70 points this week, but this game might have been the most embarrassing for a team because everyone and their mom knew the Chiefs were winning this game. And the 41-10 final score, people look at it and we're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. The 70-20, people are like, whoa, that's a lot of points. 41-10, that's a 31-point win, and everyone was kind of just like, yeah, that makes sense. That's embarrassing. I mean, that's 4 possessions. You can't do that.
Yeah, and maybe the bigger thing here, Luke, is that the Chiefs kind of called off the dogs pretty early. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think Blaine Gabbert threw 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter alone. I mean, they called off the dogs early, and I kind of felt like we were watching this game actually because we had a Bear fan here, and I think it was like 21. It was like 17 or 21-0. And we were like, okay, they're already getting skunked here. How much longer are we going to watch this game until we just turn it over to red zone completely? And we are like, you know what? We'll give them till halftime. All right, well, they immediately score again. It's like 28-0. And then we're like, well, the Bears start actually running plays. That was a big debate on the couch. We were like, are they even going to run plays? Because if you don't, it's pretty much just like waving the white flag. Well, they started running plays, and they got another score, the Chiefs did, because they got the ball back. And we're like, there's no way they get 3 scores in before the end of the half. And they got another one. And it was disgusting. And it was a very – it's sad but funny to watch. The Bears are, and there's just some really tough things coming back to bite the Bears. There was that thing, that funny graphic that Freezing Cold Takes just re-put back out there that just says, I think it was Darnell Mooney. He just goes, one thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna win this year, and it is just
get ready to have some fun.
It's tough because they're not winning anytime soon. I don't think they might be the Broncos, but.
They haven't won in almost a year.
Yeah, a calendar year.
Yeah, calendar year. I think it was like week 4, I want to say. Not week 4. Week 6 was the last time they won last year.
I thought they started off 2-1, didn't they?
Yeah. They finished 3-14. Now they're 0-3. It's amazing that some people were picking this team to win the division over the Lions and the Packers. And granted, I wasn't the biggest Packers believer, but did you even watch this team? Like they made no changes to their team at all, hardly. And they really think that 1 year's difference is going to make that big of an improvement. And now they've regressed to literally an NFL-style FCS school. This was a game where it's like Alabama or Michigan, they bring in East Tennessee State, and they just blow them out. They have fun. Everyone brings their girlfriends. Everyone, brings their families, scoring touchdowns, showing off and all that on the FCS school. But it's not an FCS school. It's an NFL team. But that's literally the vibes it gave me was – a ranked team going, bringing in like Texas State or, Eastern Kansas or something like that, just to blow them out. But it was, an NFL game, and it's just sad to watch. I had to turn off the TV because I couldn't, as a Packers fan, I don't enjoy this. It's like watching an autistic kid just get made fun of. It's the saddest thing in the world. Man, it's tough.
Oh man. Oh, hey Luke, by any chance did you see that Taylor Swift was in Travis Kelce's box over the weekend?
His mom's box?
Yeah. Did you see that?
I think I might have seen that somewhere, actually.
Yeah.
After he scored the touchdown, I think they showed her.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
There's been some reports that they might be like hanging out and stuff. So like, yeah.
I think there's a few videos of them like touching each other.
No, they are like walking but not holding hands and stuff too. Yeah.
They like gave a
Pretty
hug
crazy.
or something. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
That's really cool.
yeah.
Big
Okay,
news right
on to the
there.
next game. Um, Dallas at Arizona. That was a shocker.
Yeah. I don't know what to feel about this game. I don't know if I should take it seriously. Like the Cowboys have flaws. I think we should say that, but I don't know if we really need to be like, oh, Arizona is competing.
Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals are supposed to be competing. I'm a little confused. Now, this was the biggest these guys get paid to play football 2 game of the year so far. I
Mm-hmm.
think this was been the biggest upset. Um, and that's just how it is. I mean, it's the age old saying, but it's true. These guys get paid to play football too, and they ran their offense, their scheme, their defense is like actually solid, um, which is maybe a building block. If imagine if they have enough wins to where Kyler Murray comes back and they like actually start rattling some shit off. That would be kind of gross. I don't think I'd
No,
actually enjoy that. That'd be kind of weird.
that would be kind of funny. But then they would just blow their chances at Caleb Williams, which apparently he has no interest in going. Like, if the Cardinals get the #1 pick, he might just stay at USC. That's how much he doesn't want to go there, which would be insane.
That would be insane.
So
I don't
maybe
know. They always say shit like that and they never back it up, but
well,
we'll
Eli
see.
Manning.
Yeah, but he didn't get to go back to school.
No, but he like forced his way off. You can do it. Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, the Sunday night game.
Great
This was
game, actually.
disgusting.
Ended up being a good game.
I didn't watch.
Not a whole lot of points, but it was definitely a good game. Kenny Pickett, once again, looks pretty good at times, and other times mid as a mug. Jimmy Garoppolo, God bless his soul, was missing reads all night long. And after the game, they found out that he actually has a concussion. So, placed in concussion protocol this week. Probably not going to play. Um, yeah, that's basically all that happened. The Steelers kind of just held on late. So,
One thing about Jimmy, has he gotten more handsome since he went to not L.A., but Las Vegas? When they showed him taking off his helmet on the sideline, I was like, I don't know how it's possible, but this guy got even more hot.
I don't know. I thought he was pretty damn handsome in San Fran, but
Oh yeah,
I can maybe if I did some like side by sides, but like I'd say he's still about just as hot. I mean, maybe
I feel like he's
a
got
little.
a little more.
I mean, did you see that casino graphic? Oh no, you said you didn't watch. There was a really funny Jimmy G casino graphic as well, where he still looked kind of hot. But I don't know. I'll have to. That's something I'll keep my eye out for this week because he's probably just going to be standing on the sidelines with the clipboard. So I'll see. I'll take that into consideration and keep my eye out for that. See if Jimmy's gotten hotter.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. And then we have 2 Monday night games. If you were done with the Sunday night one,
Yeah.
okay. 2 Monday night games: Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, the battle of unbeaten's. But it wasn't much of a battle because Philly just mowed them down. The Bucks they held their ground for the most part. They didn't look bad. It was just
Defensively,
Philly was just better. So
Baker struggled a little bit too.
yeah, nothing to worry about with the Bucks. I don't think. I think he just played a really good team, and then Philly just continues to roll. Jalen Hurts and that sneak play it's just a beauty to watch. And just the offensive lineman just diving to the ground, and it's a guaranteed yard every time. Probably like 2 or 3 though. The Rams in Cincinnati. I'll be honest, I didn't watch much of this game, and it looked kind of gross. But I mean, Cincinnati gets a huge win, stay alive in that AFC playoff picture. Jamar Chase had a good game. Joe Burrow is still hurt.
Yeah. Lots of sacks in this game. There was, I think, Stafford got sacked 6 times, Burrow twice. I'll say this: the Rams' offense looks super good, but they don't score a lot of points. I mean, you can still tell that Stafford can really throw it, and McVay can really call an offense, but they aren't finishing drives right now. They also had 2 touchdowns taken from them in this game, which was really stupid. It's tough to watch in replay because they're easily the Rams just out schemed them, and those touchdowns get taken off the board, which really sucks. But I feel like the Rams actually should have won that game. Classic Hitler versus Stalin game for me. But yeah, I still don't think that Joe Burrow was throwing a touchdown pass this year, though. And they also haven't scored a first half touchdown. So there's that.
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, that was week 3. Pretty crazy week. I was pleased with it. I wish there were more games in the afternoon on Sunday because I was just kind of like a get your homework done time frame, which was nice. But overall, good week. And then we also had a good week in college football. Great slate. Mizzou wins, and they're now ranked, which is cool. 4-0 for the first time since 2012, I believe.
2013, I want to say.
We went to the SEC championship that year too. Was that Auburn?
Yeah, that was Auburn, and 14 was Alabama.
What was the year that we lost to Oklahoma State in that bowl game?
We won that game, by the way, but yeah.
Oh, okay. The Cotton
That
Bowl?
was the first one, yeah.
So, if history repeats itself, Mizzou's going to have a great year, which would be fantastic, but they also have to play an SEC game.
Yes, and that starts this week at Vandy. And if you're a true Mizzou fan, this game just irks you because you just know we're finally ranked. Everything's looking so good. Basketball's getting some sick recruits.
LSU next week.
We're 4-0. Everything is just lining up, and then this is where we drop a game usually. That's just how we feel. I do have a little bit of a different feeling that I've had all year long, where I feel like I just don't feel like they're going to drop it this year. I feel like this is a little bit different. So yeah. I think they'll actually win, but yeah. I was at that game, so I actually missed most of the college football slate. Sadly, I watched the morning games, but that was about it, including the great Clemson-Florida State game, which I was, for once, kind of hoping Clemson would have pulled it out, but they dropped it at the very end.
Florida State's for real, baby.
Yeah, they are very damn good.
Chop on.
Another game, Notre Dame and Ohio State. This ended up being a wild game that came down to literally the last play. Ohio State scored on the goal line on the last play. Really, really close call, but Ohio State scored and ended up winning 16-14 at Notre Dame, which was beautiful. Hashtag breathe if you ate Notre Dame. So that was nice to see. We were watching that while we were at the Mizzou game. So yeah, and then Colorado.
You don't get to see a walk-off touchdown very often.
No, you don't.
Especially running.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually
I love that they run the ball with, I think it was 3 seconds. It was going to be one play anyway. I just love running the ball right up the gut on the goal line with the game on the line.
Me too. It's old school. And it was super close too. And but yeah, they got it. And Notre Dame's not out of it. A lot of people are saying if they run the table and off their brand, they'll probably still get in. But
they play USC
because they have a true quarterback. But we'll see. Oh yeah, Colorado got absolutely shelled by Oregon, who's actually really, really good. There's 4 top 10 teams in the Pac-12: Utah, Washington, Oregon, and USC. And USC might be the worst one, if you ask me.
I was going to say. they have the best quarterback. Actually, I don't even know if they have the best quarterback because Washington, what they're doing over there, am I crazy to call them a top 2 team in the nation? That's what I've seen so far.
I don't think it's crazy just because we haven't seen a whole lot yet. It's still early in the season. I don't think Penix is a better quarterback than Caleb Williams, but I think he has way better numbers because of the offense that they kind of run. But they're dangerous. They are very dangerous. I mean, they've blown out everybody in their way so far. So that conference is just really, really good right now. At the last minute, the Pac-12 finale. So, not to mention the Pac-2, the 2-pack, Washington State and Oregon State. They had a barn burner this week as well. Cam Ward, Washington State's quarterback, is a stud, and I think he had a perfect passer rating. So,
the Cougars are for real.
Yeah, they are.
Whenever they beat Wisconsin, I was like, well, Wisconsin just wasn't really that good. They're ranking them just because. No, they're really good. Oregon and Washington and USC are probably the top 3 teams. But then you have the next tier where it's Utah and Washington State are probably right there. And then, you have the UCLA, Oregon State tier. Colorado's probably in there. Damn, dude, the Pac-12 is so good. Fun. The Washington-Oregon game in a few weeks is going to be awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah. I can't wait for it.
Alabama snuck one out against Ole Miss. I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting Ole Miss to finally to get them, but Alabama, better coach, they pulled it out. Milroe, they're finally running plays that center around Jalen Milroe and not us trying to do a system that formulates for Buckner and Ty Simpson. These plays were just, if we're going to go with Milroe, let's run plays that work the best for him. And it worked out. Alabama's schedule is not that tough besides LSU because the West is not as good as I thought it was going to be. It is not nearly as good as I thought it was going to be.
The East might be better this year.
Yeah.
For the first time in a while.
Yeah. So that's that. I think they have Mississippi State maybe this week. I can't remember, but nothing crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, they've kind of figured it out. They were stumbling at the beginning, but now they're settling into the year, and I think we'll be fine. Maybe not same old Alabama, but it'll be really good. So.
Yeah. Some really big games this week as well. Oh yeah, Luke is finally done with his Iowa shtick, which I can't believe it took this long, but here it is. Penn State invited Iowa to College Town for a whiteout game, and they whited out all over Iowa. They won I think it was 31-0, just a blowout. Penn State's defense is so good. Penn State's defense reminds me a lot of Iowa's defense from last year, actually. They just fly around. They have multiple NFLers on their team, and their offense is solid. So we'll see. They'll have a shot. Ohio State has not been extremely impressive, and Michigan, they took care of the Fighting Schianos this week, but they haven't played anybody either. So,
yeah, the Big Ten's going to get interesting when they start playing each other. But obviously the story is definitely the Pac-12. It is by far the most interesting, most fun conference to watch. Even better than the SEC, I think, this year, just because it's a lot of new teams, maybe. But Mizzou, I know we got to beat Vandy, but if we do that, it's going to set up a ranked-on-ranked matchup with LSU next week. People are talking about College Game Day maybe coming. I want to shut that down. I want to say they're going to Austin, Texas for the Red River rivalry.
I don't even think it's in Austin.
Oh, really? Is it somewhere else?
It should be at the Cotton Bowl, shouldn't it?
So would they go? Would they go to the site of the Cotton Bowl? That's not as fun as going to a university, though.
No, but they do that all the time. Like they started the year, they went to Charlotte for North Carolina, South Carolina. They'll go to neutral, which kind of is gay. If you shit, it's
No, I
it's kind
agree.
of dumb.
I agree with you.
It's kind of dumb, but they do stuff like that. So,
I hope they're like SEC. Give us the SEC.
but yeah, that's another. I mean, Texas got a big game this week. Even before that, they play Kansas this week, who's also 4-0. I don't know what Oklahoma's got on their schedule, but yeah, I mean things are about to get. We're about to get into the nitty gritty of college football season. We're settling into conference play. Real teams are about to play real teams. So yeah. Also, Drake May in Carolina, their offense kind of exploded in the second half. He threw a touchdown left-handed, very Mahomes-like in the game. It was pretty cool. Carolina also 4-0 for the first time since forever ago. I think it may have been like 1990 something. So,
Oh wow,
yeah,
good
it's been a
times
long
here
time.
on the show.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Arizona's doing good. They're 3-1. Their only loss is an overtime loss on the road to an SEC school. So
yeah.
We do play Washington this week, so that's
that's tough, but
the march of death. But I mean, it's a gauntlet of a schedule, and when you play in the Pac-12, I think we have like Washington State next week, and then after that, it's Oregon. So it's just gonna die.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pick up some wins against UCLA or something like that. Maybe
they're not bad either.
I know, but they're like the easy. Other than Arizona State, they're the easiest game left on the schedule. So
that's tough.
If they can just get into a bowl game this year, that would
be a win for Jed.
The next 3 weeks are Washington, and then at USC and at Washington State.
Yeah, not good.
Oregon State. Yikes.
Oh shit! What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Well, Colorado, they also play USC this week, so I don't know if it's gonna be a shelling like last week, but I think you would hope USC would win that game.
Yeah.
Although it would shake things up if they drop it, but because Colorado got absolutely embarrassed last week. So also I wasn't surprised, but it was kind of disheartening to see all the hate that Colorado that they were giving Coach Deion Sanders. I saw the players doing dumb shit before the game, the Colorado players being unbelievably cocky and doing some really dumb stuff like on the field at Oregon, but all the backlash, I swear, just went on Coach Sanders, and I felt that wasn't very warranted. Oregon they just had their minds right, and they were ready to play, and they whooped their ass. So, and Coach Sanders owned that. He goes, "Yeah, that was a good old fashioned butt whipping," and it was. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I felt that was a little unwarranted.
Well, I mean that's if you're gonna talk like Deion does, then you're gonna have to take it, and I think he's fine taking it.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters. That's about all I have for college football.
Yeah. Another important week, though.
Yeah, the MLB season wraps up this weekend. So
unbelievable.
It's a final
unbelievable
for Cam.
I can't even believe it's every night I see the rolling script of the games on the bottom of ESPN, the ESPN bottom line, and I still see MLB games, and it just blows my mind every single night. I can't believe the MLB season's still going on. Well, but it's only September. It's only September. Like, I should know that this goes into October. I play MLB The Show during the summer. Like, you would think I would know, but this year, my mind completely shut off for baseball as soon as pretty much I would kind of want to say the preseason started, which is kind of disgusting. But
the Cardinals were bad. So
Yeah, it's true. Cardinals were bad, and it
That's the
shut off
reason.
extra early for me. So, not my fault.
Yeah, not entirely. And we still got another month of it. But the good news is the next month of baseball is going to be fun because it's the playoffs. And the Diamondbacks, by the way, are, I do believe, a win, maybe 2 wins away from clinching a playoff spot. So, shout out. Shout out to whoever picked them for the playoffs. They must be incredibly intelligent. Um, I can't believe it's coming true though. It's one of those moments where you kind of throw a take out there, kind of like me with the Panthers this year. That's probably not going to come true, but this
Yeah,
one I
probably
threw it
not.
out there, and it's coming to fruition. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. And the Yankees missing the playoffs, and the Blue Jays I had missing the playoffs, which probably won't happen. But they haven't clinched yet, so a lot of fun storylines going into the last week. The biggest one is probably just the Rangers and Mariners play each other, and if the Rangers win, the Mariners die. Um, but if not, the Astros could be missing the playoffs, which I think every fan would not mind. I think that would be okay with everyone.
Agreed. Yeah,
Yeah,
some change.
yeah. That's about all I have for MLB. I think we'll talk more next week we'll do a little bit of a playoff preview. Whether that will be with a guest or not, that's undecided, but we'll have to do some form of preview. And you want to get to Fantasy Corner here?
Yeah,
Because there are some other sports that we have to talk about here.
yeah. So we have a collective fantasy corner this week. Our stardom is freak time. This is what has been coined the new Dame Lillard and Giannis combination. Dame time and the freak time. So this was kind of a shocker, Luke. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was Miami Heat or nothing for Mr. Lillard. But as it turns out, he's a Milwaukee Buck, and there's a couple funny things attached to this. Like the day before, Drew Holiday said he wanted to retire a Milwaukee Buck, and then they just sent his ass to Portland, which is a tough place to be sent, by the way.
Yeah.
And a couple of teams involved in this trade. I know the Suns sent DeAndre Ayton as well to Portland, which that's tough for him. We may never hear from him again. Joseph Nurkic, he was sent to the Suns. But the big puzzle piece here in all of this, obviously, is Dame Lillard with Giannis, and I'm not 100% sure what to think about it. I would like to think that this is okay. Let's ring chase, because I thought the Bucks had the best team in the playoffs last year too, but they lost to the Heat randomly in the first round. Obviously, the Heat went to the finals, but still, it was just wild to see. And I thought they had the best team. So with the addition of Dame Lillard, who's obviously a better player than Drew Holiday, but older, and I always just think about there's only one basketball, so one basketball between. He's never had a teammate like this.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dame Lillard. He's never had a teammate like this. Not that Giannis has had a teammate like this, but he's never had a teammate like Giannis. And there's only one basketball. I'm not sure how it's going to look. I'm excited to see how it looks. And it was also weird that this happened in the late September. You expect shit like this to go down in July, because this is a quick turnaround for Dame, if you ask me. I mean, the NBA season starts like October 24th, I want to say. So
Yeah,
less than
preseason
a
starts
month.
in like 2 weeks. So
Yeah, so very quick. Got to get used to everything, but it was just a shocker to me.
yeah. It was more of a shock that he didn't go to the Heat. I was really looking forward to that, hoping to pair Jimmy Butler with a star like that. But I mean, the Bucks get a player that's wanting a ring, and they're definitely in that race. I think it's a good combination because that's kind of the position that they needed. Drew Holiday was a good player, but I mean, this is obviously an upgrade. and Giannis can continue to do his thing, and Dame can continue to do his thing, I don't think it's going to affect one another. I mean, you're talking about the one ball thing. I don't think it's, the same thing like the Nets where it's James Harden and Kyrie, or those are ball guys, those are playmakers. These are guys I think that can, sure, they have their own play styles, they do multiple things, they're superstars, but I think they can play together. And honestly, this elevates the Bucks even more, to where I think even more people are going to be picking them to win the title. But the Heat, they missed out. There were certain players that not the Bucks, the Trailblazers wanted in the trade. I think Tyler Hero was one of them. Nikola Jovic was one of them. It was just like a bunch of Caleb Martin, like these players that, sure, that they do good work for the Heat, but they're kind of mid overall. And the fact that you refuse to give, a few of them up for, a superstar like this, it's either A, they knew something, or B, that it's kind of like me with fantasy. Like, when you're trading, you want all the superstars in fantasy football, but you don't want to trade away your superstars. It's kind of what it was for the Heat. They were just reluctant to any kind of change, which, do you really need a change when you went to the NBA Finals? Maybe not, but
Yeah.
it's certainly, I know Jimmy Butler had like they were tampering video, which was kind of just weird. I don't know if that was serious or not.
Sour grapes. Jimmy Butthurt.
Yeah.
Hate to throw that one out there, but
yeah. It was kind of cool to see the NBA leap in here when, the MLB season's coming to an end and football's in full motion. The NBA is like, hey, we still exist.
Yeah. My situm is Chandler Jones. And this situm might be for the benefit of his mental health, Luke. This guy is on one. He has been on one for about a month now in terms of cryptic social media posts, his separation from the Raiders. And he posted a video today of him saying that Josh McDaniels pretty much killed Aaron Hernandez and that he didn't die in a prison. And then he just started crying hysterically. This is not a good look for the NFL because we don't know really what is causing this. And it kind of almost looks like an Antonio Brown type of situation with how it's spiraling out of control fast. Of course, it also happens to the Raiders. Shout out to when Antonio Brown almost froze his foot off while he was a Raider. But it's just spiraling out of control once again. It just so happens to be going on in Vegas. And it's just not a good look. And I don't – for the NFL. For Chandler Jones, I just hope he gets the help that he needs. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to play football or not. It sounds like he wants to play football. But it doesn't really look like he's making the advancements to do that. I don't know. I don't think he's really asked for a trade. He wants to stay in Vegas, but he also wants Josh McDaniels' head on like a pitchfork, and which is not exaggeration, by the way. I mean, he really does not like Josh McDaniels, doesn't like the ownership group, which I don't really blame him that much, but we've talked about this story a little bit after they locked him out and he had to like work out at like some fake workout gym and, all kinds of shit. But this was not looking good. So I'm sitting Chandler Jones.
What's your sleeper? I'm excited to hear this. You've been
Luke, this is a little bit premature, but I just got to get it out because it's really been irking at me. My sleeper is Punxsutawney Phil, and I just hope that bitch stays asleep because I don't really want to see him. And a couple of days ago, in one of my Spanish classes, our teacher didn't know what Groundhog Day was, and so we talked about this fat fuck for about 20 minutes. And we were trying to explain the concept of Groundhog Day, and just thinking about the concept of Groundhog Day kind of hurts the brain because it's just so stupid. But it's not even the concept of Groundhog Day. It's just this fat fraud, Punxsutawney Phil. And he's my sleeper, Luke, because he always creeps up on me. February 2nd always creeps up on me. And it's only like a week thing where I'm really pissed off at Punxsutawney Phil. It's September 28th, and I'm just really ticked off about that fat fuck. He's a fraud, and I just hope he stays asleep this year. And by that, I just mean I hope he dies. I hope he doesn't wake up, and I hope that when it's like time to see if he sees his shadow, they're just like, the bitch is dead. And yeah, they'll just replace him with another Punxsutawney Phil. And you know what? I hope that one dies the following year as well. And I hope he doesn't wake up. This line of Punxsutawney Phils, it needs to be erased from our culture. And maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too far. I don't really think it is. I hate him.
God, I know that you hate him. A little harsh calling for his death there, but I mean, maybe all they need to do is just, isn't there a person that like works the Groundhog Day thing, like takes him out and holds him?
Yeah,
they need to hire Bill de Blasio to do that so that he can drop him.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think de Blasio should do it every year. And just for the offhand chance that he might drop the fucker on his head and then he dies. And then we don't have to worry about the shadow thing, which is fake, by the way. Very fake. I don't know why we still do this. It's almost like turning back the clocks. Why do we do it? It's the same thing with Punxsutawney Phil, and he is just an asshole. He sees his shadow every year, 6 more weeks of winter every year, and then he just goes back into his little hobbit hole where he just gets fat as shit, that's maybe the only respectable thing I like about Punxsutawney Phil is that he just goes back into his hobbit hole and gets fat as fuck, which, whatever, but that's maybe the only nice quality about Punxsutawney Phil. I fucking hate him, though. God, I fucking hate that guy. I hate how they just keep bringing his ass back.
A shadow, something that's not even real. That's caused by him, and he gets scared and he runs away. He's a bitch. We'll say it.
Oh, he's a huge bitch, but I mean, he's a coward fraud. It's like a double whammy, and he's a fat fuck. I mean, I just don't like him.
He's a nuisance to the earth, to this country.
Yeah, what?
He's a stain on a great country.
It's been forever since he's done something positive for this great nation. That's why I don't understand why we keep going back to the well that is Punxsutawney Phil on February 2nd. It really triggered me.
It's the thing where it's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results is insanity. Groundhog Day, insanity, officially.
It is. It is actually an insane concept.
Yeah. And it's not real.
And he's a fraud, yeah.
Let's move on here to the Week 4 picks. Let's wrap up the show. Unless you have anything else to get into.
No. Under that, we have Hitler versus Stalin. That's just a throw out. We've missed that. Duke and Notre Dame play this week for College Game Day.
Oh, yeah.
Huge game. Huge game, by the way. But this is Hitler versus Stalin. There are not two. These are 1 and 2 on my teams that I hate in college football more than anything else. Anything else. 1 and 2. Notre Dame.
Okay.
2, Duke. 3, North Carolina State probably. But breathe if you hate Notre Dame. But versus Duke, this is one of those games, Luke, where you root for the meteor. You root for the meteor to hit Durham, North Carolina, and just hope it all goes up in flames.
It's not that far from
far from Chapel Hill. You're right, and there would be some remnants that would, Chapel Hill would probably be affected, but you kind of are willing to take that off chance that maybe it's not that big of a meteor and it only destroys Durham.
Yeah. Good luck to you in that game because everyone's going to be talking about that one. And you just have to endure it. So,
yeah.
Week 4, the NFL pick sheet. It is my week to pick. And we start off with a bang. Detroit at Green Bay tonight, Thursday Night Football. I mentioned this is the Jersey Claws game. And for that reason, because I want to spend some money. I've been waiting to spend some money. I'm going with Green Bay. Not confident.
60 is the new 30 in terms of spending money.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Any
I don't
objection?
feel great about that, but whatever. No, I do. Zip.
Okay. It's not going to be a pretty game, but we'll see how it goes. Atlanta at Jacksonville in London. This is the
Jesus
most.
Christ.
I want to point this out. This is the most London game of all time. When I think of a London game, I think of the Jaguars. Obviously, they've been over there the most, and the Falcons. It's a match made in heaven. I feel like they've gone every time they've played. It's been in London. I don't know why. I just feel like. But give me the Jags. They're good
Okay.
overseas.
Yeah. I like Jacksonville over there as well. I think they actually need to win this game. This is
Yeah,
kind of almost a
1-2.
must-win for them. So,
Miami Buffalo. This is the game of the week. Dare I say?
I'd say.
Okay, and of course it's a 12 o'clock game. You know, it's not any of the primetime games or the game of the week at 3:25. You know, of course they just shove it 12 o'clock slate. I really have a bone to pick with the schedule makers this year when it comes to primetime games. Miami Buffalo. It's at Buffalo. I'm gonna have to go with the Bills.
I hate to veto an away game, but expect us. I want to veto and give me the Dolphins. Are you
Okay.
going to reverse it?
No, I will not reverse that one. I will say Miami. I've been off them. I picked against them the first 2 weeks of the year. I picked New England and I picked the Chargers to beat them in week 1, and you vetoed both of them. And last week, if you remember, I said this game against the Broncos. You know, I'm going to pick the Dolphins here, but this could be a game where it's just like a random win for the Denver. So I've been off Miami all year, and they are
Yeah.
just like heads away the best team in the AFC. So maybe this is a game where I'm just, like continue to hate us, Luke, and we'll just keep winning. So on the graphic, it will say Miami though. Denver at Chicago. We talked about this already. Sicko game of the week. You seem to have an opinion. I don't care who wins. I'm going to defer the pick to you. No,
I thought Chicago was going to win this game earlier, but I just remembered that if Sean Payton doesn't win this game, like, look out. And same with Russell Wilson. Like, the amount of hate that they're going to get if they don't win this game.
Start 0-4 and losing to the Bears. Yeah, we have to pick the Broncos here.
I think I've swayed myself back into the Broncos. Yeah. I've flipped on that game twice already this week, so that would be the third time I've flipped on that game.
All right, let's do it. Denver. Baltimore at Cleveland. This is a close second for game of the week, I feel like. And it's at Cleveland. Baltimore's offense has not looked good all year. Cleveland's defense has been probably the best defense in the league, other than maybe like the Cowboys, but they had a rough week last week. So I'm taking Cleveland.
Okay. What about the 49ers on their defense?
Well, you know how I feel about the 49ers. I don't mention them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you try not to think about the 49ers.
Yeah, I hate them. Cincinnati at Tennessee. Jesus. Yikes.
This is a shit bowl. I don't even know. I think Cincinnati.
Yeah, we've picked them every week, so I don't know. This is a Vrabel win, though.
I thought last week was a Vrabel win. He keeps messing with me.
I think we've picked both the Bengals and the Titans to win every week.
Yeah, we picked them against the Saints. They lost. We picked them against, and they won. I'm trying to remember who that was against.
Chargers?
Was it?
I think so. Regardless, we'll go with Cincinnati. I'm not picking Ryan Tannehill. Rams at the Colts. It's at the Colts, but you know what? We're gonna make this is the first clause game of the year, Cam.
Oh,
we haven't had a clause game yet this year. We had a few of them. If the roof is open. Give me the Colts. If the
Okay.
league is closed, this is Rams. So, first clause game of the year. I feel like this is a game that the Rams are going to go in and win, but Jim Irsay opens up the roof. It's going to be hard to pick against the Colts. So,
I agree. That's a great pick.
So we got to check that before the game.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans. It's the same team. It's the same team. Great defense, mid offense. Sad head coach.
Yeah.
But it's
it's
in New Orleans
bad,
and
one's a
Jameis is playing.
terrorist. This is a Jameis game, by the way.
Yeah, it's in
Jameis
New Orleans
versus old team.
in the dome. So I'm going the Saints. As much as I hate to admit it. Washington at Philadelphia. I'd love to see Washington win this, but you have to pick Philadelphia here.
Yeah. We're trying to win games here.
Yeah. It's a safe pick. Minnesota at Carolina. Another shout out for potential sicko game of the week. 0-3 versus 0-3. This is the Adam Thielen revenge game. And it's at Carolina. So as a person who picked the Panthers to win the division, if that has any chance of staying alive, they have to win this game. So give me Carolina.
Jesus. I don't know. This is the game like where the Vikings lose this, you press the button like, all right, Tankathon is on.
Tank for Drake May. Trade Kirk Cousins.
I think you tank for Caleb.
I don't know if that's possible, man. There's some bad teams out there.
You can out tank if you buy into the tank week 4. Just sell. It's like the MLB deadline. It's just sell.
Yeah, you know what though? If the Vikings do get Caleb Williams, they might win a Super Bowl with him.
I think he's gonna look sick
in a purple
fucking Vikings uniform.
Yeah. Like the Cardinals jersey, ew, gross.
Yeah.
The Bears,
they just kill everybody. That's a quarterback.
The Jets, ew. Panthers, they're not going to take a quarterback. Vikings probably is where he's hoping that the Vikings are losing right now. Pittsburgh, Houston.
From the pit, not the palace.
This is a game I think that Mike Tomlin grits out and wins. Even though it's at Houston, I think I'm going to take the Steelers.
Whenever Pittsburgh at Houston, it just reminds me of that like Christmas game that they played, and the Steelers like took care of business pretty good in that game. But do you remember DeAndre Hopkins caught that really awesome touchdown and was like laying down on the ground and like doing a snow angel? And Vince Williams, the Steelers linebacker, went and like laid down with him. I always think about that when these two teams play. So shout out Vince Williams.
Las Vegas at the Chargers. This is the Chargers. This is a must-win for the Chargers, I think.
Yeah. They have a lot of must-wins coming up. They just got to win.
Yeah, New England at Dallas. This is a potential another Hitler versus Stalin game. But this is Dallas, I think. Even though Dak is not very good, I think
this is definitely going to be the Tony Romo game, isn't it?
It has. Yeah, this is such a Tony Romo game. Arizona at San Francisco. I have to do San Francisco. Reluctantly picking San Francisco in this game.
I kind of hope Kevin Harlan is doing the Miami game.
Oh, I think he might be. CBS. It's kind of like
I hope he is.
Kansas City.
Kevin Harlan.
And then the Sunday night game, Kansas City at the Jets. This is Kansas City because the Jets have Zach Wilson.
Yep.
And then Monday night, Seattle versus the Giants. I'm going Seattle. I haven't seen enough from the Giants this year, and Seattle's they've been taking care of their business, so taking care of business.
All right,
give me Seattle. How many home teams we got this week? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
We'll do that later. We'll count them up later. bad podcasting. That is the week 4 picks, and that's also the end of this episode. So I guess we'll see you next week for, obviously the week 4 recap and stuff, previewing Mizzou's big game, and a little bit of MLB playoff preview. So big episode next week, so get prepared, and we'll see you then.